composition of the balance sheet on the asset side shifted in the last few years. In the past, the majority of the assets were residential property, so that was the biggest portion of assets that most of the households owned. What we actually now saw is that that has decreased, and a lot more households now own financial instruments. That refers to assets like a cash account or a savings account or stocks. And we might think that a lot of households don't own stocks or shares on the JSE, but via the pension funds, that is the majority of assets. So for those consumers that do save and that are members of a pension fund, they're in a financial position that they've got great returns on the last few years, with the JSE having a good run the last few years, increasing their wealth. So it's important from a policy debate that we understand that composition. We're spending a lot of focus on giving houses to people and from the redeployment of the funds from that side. But what we saw is if we really want to change their lives and increase their wealth, we must really invest more in the financial assets like the Social Security reform. We must ensure that more people have access to a pension fund, and regardless of the format. So the Social Security reform needs to be introduced as soon as possible. We have to look at the impact of houses. We saw the residential property didn't increase or didn't grow that much in the last few years. So that was part of why the household wealth didn't grow. But those fortunate enough to be in financial assets did increase their wealth position. So it's important also for consumers when they are not part of a pension fund to look at the opportunities of investing in retirement annuities, because that gives them access to the JSE, but it helps them saving for the long term. So the asset composition is very important for creating long-term wealth for consumers.